everyone. My name is Aurelie Majo, consultant at Strategies, and for the past 12 years, I've been facilitating international conferences and workshops, as well as team building and capacity building events for both development organizations and multinationals. I'm just coming back from Nairobi, where I spent 4 weeks with 4 other colleagues facilitating the Transformation Learning Lab of the Global Program Transformation of Food Systems. This was the second edition, and from there I was able to facilitate 2 side events during the Partners for Change network meeting, which was bringing together over 200 participants from about 30 countries and from 4 continents. What am I taking back home from these events? One is the fact that if we want to transform agri-food systems within our different countries, the key pillar we need to work on is to have multi-stakeholders, platforms, and dialogue. Yes, you cannot transform agri-food system if you don't bring together all the different stakeholders to discuss, from the policies to the implementation, and also they should be able to monitor and evaluate together to make sure that we really take into account the different aspects. We should have at the table the government, the civil society, women and youth, the private sector, the researchers, and so on. So multi-stakeholders platform is the one thing I'm taking back home. The second thing I learned from these events is the aspect of implementation. We have been developing frameworks at the international level, the regional level, but the question is, are we being able to implement these agendas within our countries? And the implementation is not only at the national level, it should reach the rural areas. So we should be looking at the national government, the local government, to make sure that these agendas are really implemented. This is, for example, the case of the Malabo Declaration. We are today 10 years after this declaration was signed in Malabo. But where are we with regards to our agri-food systems in Africa countries and also all over the world? The third thing I'm taking back home with me is the aspect of scaling. A lot of farmers, a lot of people around our countries are really doing great things. They are having innovation initiatives within the agri-food, and it is important within our countries to have systems in place to make sure that we are able to scale from the rural area to the national, and why not being able to replicate these initiatives at international level. The fourth lesson I'm taking back from the Nairobi events is inclusion and accountability. Yes, I thought about partnerships at the beginning, but inclusion here really means to make sure that we have at the table the women who are actually the one doing most of the labor work in the farms, and from the farm to the table. You have women at the conservation, you have women in transportation, you have women in processing, you have women cooking, and so on. This means women and also the youth are key stakeholders. You need to make sure that they are at the table. And this is not only about looking at the urban areas. You should be looking at all the marginalized groups in the rural areas, because we are farming in our rural areas. One key topic that was really not much developed, and which probably will be at the table for the next P4C events, is to really talk about marginalized groups in conflict areas within these countries in Africa that are actually going through political transition system. So inclusion is really important, and all everybody should be accountable. We should not just take decisions, we should implement, and we should be able to be accountable. Government should be accountable to the citizens. Citizens should be accountable on what they are doing on the ground in monitoring the work of the government. The development partners should be accountable on what they are doing within the different countries. So accountability is a key topic that was discussed in Nairobi event. So I'm going back home with a full suitcase with all these 4 key topics that were discussed throughout the week in Nairobi. Where am I going next? From now, yes, I'm going to first stop in Cameroon, my nice and beautiful country, because we need to document all these events. And from Cameroon, I will be heading to Poland for an international event bringing together women activists from various countries around the world to discuss what can be done to really bring change within our countries at the head of our states, in the governance system within our states. So I will be from Douala to Poland, and from Poland, I will probably join the AFRIPAC members who are actually members of committees that are following up with regards to public finance. So we will be talking about public finance governance in Africa. We will meet in Côte d'Ivoire, Yamoussoukro, to discuss these specific topics. So Nairobi, Douala, Warsaw in Poland, and then Yamoussoukro in Côte d'Ivoire. Stay tuned to learn more about the work of strategies. Bye-bye.